11:11. Pardon me. Yep. See, I'm excited. I'm excited. It's 11:11 here with
like
Corey Williams. With Corey Williams.
That's how I have my visions. You have to see the future. You have to see it to be it. And I definitely want to thank you for seeing it and being it and having this village and you know, the ancestors and, you know, and I feel the energy. And like I said, when you have a plan, when you're prepared for success,
yeah.
You walk into it. And I think how I live and how, you know, I'm going to proceed going forward with any opportunities to prepare for it and just go to it and do it, you know. I think I'm prepared for all the things that I talk about when it comes to any of the arts and any of the actions I want to present as a man. You know, I believe that I present at all times, so I'm ready for everything at all times.
Right.
You know, but you've been working on your craft. You've been working on different things and different arts.
Yeah.
So I'd like to hear more about your art and what you provide for the community, and what else can we know about you?
Well, you know, I'm going to say this as I'm listening to you. What's coming through for me is my name is Ananuku, Erica Asiola, Ori Bumi, Odeyemi, you know, Nana Ya, Ananuku. So, you know, we're moving in, and I have other names that are spiritual names that I cannot mention. Hi, how you doing? You know, like, just making acquaintances, Corey, deepening relationships has been important for me. And I don't know, I'm going to eventually answer your question, so bear with me. I tend to kind of like do a whole scan of how we're going to pull this in. And, you know, there's a depth to me, and there's definitely a simplicity. You know what I mean? I don't ask for much, but what I do ask is for quality. I've been deemed demanding, but I'm here to speak to a realm of possibility. Not your ego and not your lineage of people who can't handle maybe a sister like me, or a black woman, whatever it is, the androgyny, my masculine aspects, you know what I mean?
For sure.
To your question.
Well, I think when it comes to just understanding and being accepting of a woman of strength, you know, not to even bring church into this.
It's sovereignty. That's what I wanted to say. See, we have to learn to speak in ways that we have never spoken, and let everybody be their own judge. You know, I feel like right now where I'm walking, Corey, is through everything that I've been through in this lifetime. Mother, wife, good Christian girl, good girl, disrespectful child, rebellious, all kinds of things, positive and negative. In this moment, I'm just really holding into the sovereign piece. You know, we spoke about this land being Afro-Indigenous, indigenous period. You know, soil is brown, red, black. You know what I mean? It can be white. There are white sand beaches, but I believe it came in, you know what I mean, from other regions. And so that's what we're doing right now still. You know, we're all blowing in. And so my part and my piece is I feel like I'm holding the royal aspects of my lineage that didn't get to continue before they were snatched, you know what I mean, from their own people first, from the motherland. You know, Arabs especially, because we have Islam in our family, and that was a whole invasive thing when you come from Nigeria to the Arabs and the Muslim, you know, Arab nations. So, you know, that's another thing. So I hold that energy. You know, I am a Muslim woman. I am Islam. You know, I am. So I consider myself in this moment to be royal. I consider myself to be one with the allness because I've done enough work healing within my lineages and within of myself to be able to sit with multicultural circles. You know what I mean? And Sawajira has had that coming through. The invitation has been open. The land is really calling, you know, us back to that, Corey. So
Sawajira.
Yes. Sawa literally is Japanese. If you look over there, my Asian feel is with the Japanese for sure. There's a lineage there. But yes, and then Jira is ultimately going to be my last name because I've changed my name. So actually, coming out from my marital name and my father's name, I didn't want it because I don't feel like the lineage. I gave it to my son. I gave it to my firstborn son. And so I took myself off because as a woman, if I marry, I took on another name anyway. So I gave my son all of it and literally all that comes with it. And you know what? I don't need any more else. I don't need any more burdens. Our masculine, we've done a lot of healing around it. And even the woman that was attracted to it and coddled it and let it get away with certain things. That's the disservice we've done to our sons and to men and to other sisters and to our communities. We let too many things slide or too many things.
But as a woman, you've grown, right? The woman that you were at one point, you're not that woman anymore.
Expound on that.
Would you say you have evolved on certain viewpoints through your experiences? Like the way that you accepted things at 20, and excuse me as I tread lightly, and at 30 may not be the same. And like I said, especially when you add experiences of life, time, situations. Let's say we're in things are really expensive right now. So people are probably accepting a lot more from people that they wouldn't before because they kind of need them a lot more. Or people are putting themselves at risk because, in expensive times, or they don't really see relationships how they used to, just momentships.
Interesting. I don't have that luxury. That was a statement. I felt like, like Faye Dunaway with that one, right? I don't have that. And Eartha Kitt. I don't have that luxury. And neither does anybody else with me. Like, I did that shit in my 20s and 30s.
For sure.
I was married. I was going to stay there for 70-something years, because I wanted to.
That's the dream,
I wanted, well, that was what my grandparents did,
right? I'm traditional dude over here. That's what I'm built
Well,
for.
but you're also called. So better question is, rather than who we were, how are you taking all those traditions and creating your own?
Right, I've had to adapt.
Well, listen, stick and move, agility. You know what I mean? As a runner, I would always say agility. I don't know why that word was just so fly to me. You know what I mean? I guess I was bobbing like, Muhammad Ali when I was running. I was brawling. That was my mental wellness. You know what I mean? Instead of running out of my situation, I'm just going to run these streets. And not literally, you know what I mean? The Muslim sister in me wants to be kept, modest, decency. In decency and order, lawgivers, judges, you know what I mean? Before you can judge me, I've already judged myself. So good luck with that. Have at it. You know what I mean? Get back to me on it. Might be good for my book. Might be a good comment for my record. Because all you can ever do for me is really support what I came to do. Are you in service to the Most High? Not. And that shouldn't matter. What does that mean to you? When you say Most High, what do you mean?
Yeah.
If I got to explain, if you got to question me as an authority, a lot of spiritual books say you should never question one in an authority, especially when you recognize their leadership. If it doesn't resonate with you, walk away. So respect and honor, brother, is, from the 20s to the 30s, somewhere along the line, my ancestors held me to that. Like, people had that, and I didn't even have it for myself. I was just trying to get through just to get by, and I probably stayed in those places longer than I should have, because I'm a not a perfectionist, I'm an excellence. So whatever I'm in, I'm going to give it my best, and that's why the willingness to lay down all of this to just be that wife, mother, or wife, and say we're going to live our best life. Well, when I look at the partnerships, some things are still looping, or I'm just, or be out of my field of interest. You know what I mean? So did I outgrow them? Did they undergrow me? Did they outgrow me? And maybe I just took a different trajectory. Because I'm still she at 20 and 30.
Right.
Actually, my teenage me is the MVP right now. She was a badass, and she is kicking names and will ride or die with you. If you need to clear anything in your lineage, you need to cry, you need some soup, you want to, anything, she's down. Because the 53-year-old me goes to bed at 8:22. 5:55 when it's, after September 23rd.
Hey,
you know what I mean? Like, the hang time is like, okay, Corey's like, come on, Ananuku, we got opportunity, we got to be there. And we got to stay till 2 in the morning. I'm going to be like, I got you. I'm shutting everything down that day. I'm acting like I'm a celebrity. What did Lauryn Hill say? She used to couldn't talk. You know, she had all these things. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
so also
Yes.
just coming down to earth, being honored to be with the son of Gainesville, one that is so southern, you know, hospitable.
Very, very.
You know what I'm saying? Like I've met a lot of brothers, but they still on some shit. You know, they still figuring it out basically. You know, running, chase, and they still got back shit to be concerned about. God bless you. I'm
Let me
with
be
that.
honest with you though.
Please do.
It's not gonna stop. They're never gonna grow up.
But we should be ashamed of ourselves. Fool me once.
But, but this
You
is
know
the
what I
thing.
mean?
This is why I'm a poet and not a rapper. Because as a poet, I'm always gonna be me.
I want to hear into this
But you're
more.
gonna have these rappers who look like me, well into their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. They're gonna look like me. They're gonna have stuff I have, and they're gonna be whores. They're gonna be dogs.
Do you think they're
They're
still
gonna
on
be
that,
not
brother?
the
Wait,
ones
wait,
to
wait. But come on
choose.
now. Okay, so are you
Because,
speaking of a place?
yes, because we choose. We choose men. Us men.
Okay.
We choose what we want. We choose what we want to do. If we want to have 12 women, we will have 12 women. If we want to have one woman and have 11 women want us, we will do
I
that.
hear you on that.
And that's how I live.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
how I have lived. And so, doing that though, when I lose my one, those 11 are saying, hey, you should have chose me. But since you didn't,
Okay.
since you
I
didn't.
remember you sharing
since
that experience. Right, right, right,
And
right,
so,
right.
you know, there's an honor in doing that, but also there's an honor in those 11 turning me down because that one I choose was always better than you in my heart.
Well,
And
right.
that's why men cheat because they love the one they love, and the ones they're with are the ones they're with.
Does that make sense to you?
It makes sense.
I mean, it sounds
It
good.
doesn't make sense.
It sounded
to
like Teddy
women.
Pendergrass, but that sounded like Teddy, right? Okay, you
It
channeling
does.
Teddy now, because I ain't trying to hear that. I'm not trying to hear that. My question now is, how do we build? I don't care what we've been through. I got enough love for both. Okay, we went through that. All right, but what are we doing now?
I need the sisters to please put up with it.
Talk to the camera.
Endure. The good ones, the men out there, they are aware. And the other ones that look like us, they are aware that they get a pass because they look like us. To choose one of us who are really one of us has to be a man of distinction. He has to have distinctive qualities to be a man that you can trust in, believe in, and put up with, like they used to back in the 70s. That poor my road baby. I mean, that was my mom and dad, you know, and watching his love for her and the love that I saw from all families back then.
Right.
Whether they really meant it, I don't know.
No, but see, that's the
black
part-
women,
right.
black men were together.
But
their
that's-
grandmas
right,
dealt with their
right,
grandfathers,
right.
who weren't never there.
And okay, and I don't think that's our legacy to carry.
I-
You know what I mean? It's honorable. Now we said this earlier. No. See, we struggle with this, but we
Gotta
have.
stay with the brothers.
No. I'm not saying that we are not gonna stay with the brothers, but
Gotta put up with the brothers.
no. I agree.
They're not gonna be.
I
perfect,
agree, but here's the thing. I'm not gonna marry a brother that I gotta put up with.
But you chose them.
I've been there,
Now
done
y'all
that.
got 2 babies.
Been five,
Don't throw him
4.
back out there.
But you know
Don't
what's
throw
interesting?
him back out there in the market. Don't throw that bad fish out there so somebody else can get that bad fish. Now that bad fish gonna have 5 other babies with another woman. Now he got 10 babies.
But here's the thing. That's not my contract. That's none of my business.
But you
'Cause
chose
them
him
10
first.
but that
and threw him back out there.
But you know, no.
That wild thing.
He needs to recognize that I
He's
chose him
not.
first. Then why would I
'Cause
waste my
he's
time?
greedy.
Why would I waste my time?
And there's so many.
You know what I mean? And I hear you because I did that a lot. I did. And a lot of sisters been there, done that with that, all that crying and pleading.
Say no to these dudes.
You know, but
Don't give him none.
here's the thing.
None. Don't give him none.
I'm not interested anymore around arguing with the masculine or who they're going to be or who I need them to be. And I don't want them arguing with me about who I am at this point.
Thank
You know, I feel like you're going to gravitate towards me. Whether you understand why you gravitated towards me or not, or why my name was given to you. I'm speaking just generally. It's like, you know, obviously we're all out here still raising each other, Corey, like, because our parents, it did take a village, and some of us didn't have a village. We grew up in that household with that one man and that one woman and all their problems and all their things, and that's all we knew. The love we saw was all that we understood, whether dad gave mama black eye the night before and we saw her kissing and hugging and she laughing and smiling through it. That, we grow up to realize that that is unacceptable, or some people don't. They're still doing it. It's like, but who we are today, eventually those people are going to have to come to Jesus. They're going to have to face their demons. They're going to have to find the woman or the man that is qualified, and they're going to have to trust all the way through. Don't catch me at that vulnerable moment, and then when I'm really getting in there, run away and leave me hanging. Or, because a lot of people, what you have to understand is, even from the motherland, we have contracts that are still pending across waters, across seas, in forests, you know what I mean, from nation to nation, from mountain to mountain. A lot of broken covenants and agreements. Brother, if you know how many bowls I broken in community. When I went to do ceremony with my African elder in North Carolina, that was a real ritual where they literally broke bowls and said the community is broken.
Yeah.
What has happened? Crack wasn't an epidemic, it was an intention.
For sure.
And it did exactly what it was supposed to do. And there's still healing. There's still healing, and there's still reparations owed for that. And so, when we talk about this lightness of relationship, I get it. I still believe in romance. I still believe in that one. I still believe all of that is coming.
Thank you.
But until then, right now, it's about building. It's about loving each other regardless of what anybody thinks. They may be like, you think they're in a... What do you think is going on with them? That's exactly what should be happening. Let's give them something to talk about. Let's do it. Because you're a whole thing to talk about. I'm so honored to be with you.
For sure.
I'm so honored to have listened. I sat here and...
presence.
Brother, I sat here and I absorbed, and I listened. I wanted to get out there, but they were like, there ain't nowhere to be. It'll be out there. And I used to tell my children
I'm glad
about the clubs.
That you reserve, because, a man of distinction, a man of worth, he's going to want to have a woman, of worth also. It's cool to have your culture. It's great to have your education. But can you also accept that man who doesn't have that education, but who has your wavelength, who has your vibe, who makes you smile, who makes you comfortable?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Who makes you just, in that moment, you mean that matters. Not thinking about next week, that moment,
I do.
Thank you so much.
I
And I think spiritually, having somebody, however you get there, guide you. So that's why you leading people, you being available for people to come talk to.
Absolutely. So
you're going to make so many great people appear, because they're going to have somebody that can guide them.
I love that.
So,
I see myself like the Queen of Sheba, but what's interesting is, in my world, right, she ain't go take all of that shit to go see Solomon. It was the other way around.
sure.
He heard about this sister. He was like, hold up. Who is this woman?
Thus,
And,
had to come see her.
had to come see her, and he brought all those gifts. And he was just so intrigued. They sat and talked for hours. And what's interesting? I see that happening,
Like
and
what?
right on, all the time. All the time. All the time.
I'm telling you.
Denise Williams, brother. What? I've been seeing them all running in like. Ooh. So the fact that you brought that here, thank you. I'm excited about that collaborative.
I want to share the first part of the screenplay.
Okay.
To show that it does this, and it's amazing. And like I said, it be called.
We need to act it out. We should just act it out. Why don't we give these people something to marinate? We give them something to talk about, right? So let's give the people a marination, and we will rehearse. And we will do this. We will present Black Butterfly and leave a cliffhanger, and then we'll have to get it up in one of these restaurants. No, seriously, like a one-man stage play, or, just a couple people, and do the plays. When I went to Chicago, they were doing that. They had the plays. They had, like, the Hippodrome, why not, for free. Cultural appropriations, they should be offering that. We can do that play there. So we can cast. We can do a cast. Well, we could do that too. We could have a casting call. We could do it for 2027. Maybe January, get the tickets going, start building momentum.
I think that'll be awesome.
Practice. I love it.
Proud when I looked at it and I read it back.
I think we should do it.
Just like I said, what I've learned.
We got to do it.
As a screenwriter.
Let's do it.
I believe I'm ready. And I just.
You know what? The only time to do it. Listen.
I'm excited to present.
All you gotta do is tell the universe you're ready.
Again, as a poet, I have to
Yeah.
speak these things.
Let's do it.
I'm ready.
We're gonna have a soundtrack to it. So we're casting call. We're doing a casting call soon. Once we get permissions,
Awesome.
I think we're gonna go ahead and do a casting call for Black Butterfly. Correct? And
Yeah,
what is the genre? What would you call it?
oh, it's definitely post um, Civil War. Uh, yeah, post Civil War era, and it's a us piece. It's about us.
I love it. And you know what? We'll get children and youth. We'll find a lot of programs. They can create that. We'll do it in African, you know what I mean? And then we can bead and we can make the costumes. We'll have sewing.
Because I mean,
I love
it's
it.
so us. You know what
I
I mean?
think we should do it and get it.
And-
It'll give the youth something to do. Give adults, you know, an
and
opportunity.
Like I said, these beads and adornments.
Look at
And
these.
I mean,
These are vinyl.
being able to make these,
Absolutely.
you know, and
No,
getting
it's
the
true.
materials locally,
Yeah.
and like I said, have it part of a production. Of film
That's what I
production.
see.
And like I said, it that's what I want to sell. How we can sell the movie, how the movie's gonna pay for itself.
Absolutely.
You know,
We can
how,
sell, you know, we can sell retail of the pieces that are in the film. How many pieces have you seen in a movie? You're like, damn, that's beautiful.
again that Black Panther stuff.
No, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, indigenous
If
technologies.
we were building that or having some of that clothing, like I say, $3.5 million, get things jumped off.
Oh man,
You know,
get people to just drop the investment, and proceeds would go towards what we're building and creating, and those we know around that are just genuinely ingenuity, the innovative, not the buildings, not the corporations, but the literal governing bodies. You know what I mean? Through the farms and gardens, being the grant holder, saying, hey, you know what, if you really want to drop a seed towards this, you know, we also ask that you channel $5,000 towards
it's
this.
real.
And
You
well,
know what I mean? 'Cause
people
we
do
can
it all the
send
time.
a
It's a
benefactor a book. We can
it's a
send
cinematography.
benefactor the fees. They can actually put their hands on their investment. You know, and I watch streamers all the time. You know, somebody send $50, $500 to a streamer who doesn't have a book that they can send back, who doesn't have a shirt.
How about
they can
beads?
send back. They have nothing to give back, but these supporters will support. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? These people, and I love that. Please continue to do that. When you support us,
Yeah.
you will get stuff back. You
Well,
know?
absolutely.
And you know, and it's the gift of the universe. You know, I honestly believe in what I'm doing. As a young person, I was told to do something or choose something passionately that I love, and I would love to do it. I love the arts. I love that it led me to this point. I've been homeless 2 times in my life because of my love for the arts and the love for what I do. And being on this mission that God got me on, you know, whatever you believe in, believe it. Just believe something positive and go forward. Just do it. Like commercial. I hate to say it, but just do
You know, as much as that's the whole thing, we're going to get into that too.
it.
But
Well,
yes, what we're doing here right now in this time space continuum is we are about empowerment, knowledge. You know, we're about the mathematics and the sciences. It's about empowering our youth, their genius, the gene keys. All of our African indigenous teachers that we're running back to the motherland would just simply say, empower the youth, create the villages, create the safe space, and they will come. And another thing I want to do is I want to get a day where we have a bunch of elders, all those community elders, come to Sawajir Village, and let's invite all the youth we know and have a pick an elder day. You know what I mean? Where all the day is each of these elders and youth are getting to know each other. We'll do activities and just spend time together. And at the end, the elders will be on one side and the youth will be on the other. And we'll say, pick your elder. You know what I mean? And that elder will be responsible for funding, for creating opportunities, if at least once a month through here, Sawajira Village and Porter's Quarters Community Collaboration. And as we're expanding, the farms that we're collaborating with, you know, teaching. I would love for you to teach youth how to do podcasting or incorporate them so that they can podcast the things that they're doing, give them exposure, you know, give them, spaces to write scripts or things like this, put on big productions. Let them create everything that they want to be a partaker of, because AI can't do that for them.
I'm so
AI cannot do that for them. AI can answer your questions, your questions, your questions. Your intelligence is feeding AI.
That's right.
So imagine just this, and I'm going to let you explain this. Right, the EQ, as we open this up, EQ is emotional intelligence. On the medicine wheel of the Native American cultures, the black represents the black man. And it's in the emotional part, the water. And our emotions, which they used against us, you know what I
All
mean?
the time.
All the time, trying to crack our minds, which would affect our emotional intelligence. But however, we are
Like
emotional.
spin that.
You know what I mean? Emotional intelligence is our jam. Emotion, like if we can master our emotions and not be so easily manipulated by the media, you know, which is challenging. You know, when I hear a baby laugh, it is
That's why I created
contagious.
my own media.
You know what? Say it again, please.
I created my own media.
I'm creating my own adornments. I'm creating my own technology. Why go out and buy a Versace when I can create this? And people find it robbery to pay $700 for my pieces, but yet and still, I know the intention. I know the prayers. Sawajira, if you knew the energy here, you know what I mean? They talked about the pyramids of Giza. So, bruh, when I feel that way, I'm just going to set up all my Egyptian and call in. You know what I'm saying? So imagine if everybody spent a day bringing in Egyptian artifacts and we just had Egypt for a day. I could cook an Egyptian meal, we could have Egyptian music, and we can embody it. And by the end of it, we'd be creating something else. It's a matter of gathering and getting together. And Corey, I say that in closing, that's where I'm at right now. Like, I'm going to do this to bring presence, but I'm very intentional about this. I would be calling in an Andre 3000. I would be calling in a Michelle Obama. I would be calling in Ross Ben. He's a teacher out of Philadelphia. I would be calling Spectacular GRM again. I would be calling you to perform and come in. I would be calling in Facts Only and them again to do some deeper. I would be calling in so many. But the Sons of Gainesville, rightfully so, because this is their territory. I want them gangbangers, the thugs that wear the masks. And come, sit with Sister Ananuku. Sit with Nana Ananuku and let's do a fire and tell me all about you. And you know what I mean? And let me teach you how to build a fire. I've seen young black men build a fire and come into their own next level.
Give a chance. We got the truck going, but
we're in the city. We're in the inner city. You know, it's a sanctuary.
Chance, young folk. It's your boy. Just give us one chance to holler at us, see what we're about. Give yourself a chance. You know, I didn't believe when I was a jit, you know, and I had these adults wanting to give me options. One of those options was art. It helped. I'm here talking to you. So, you know, I want to thank you. Ananuku.
I love it. Who got that? Great. I love it. We're working on it.
You know, this is the first of many times. Hopefully, you'll be here on Men of Distinction. You know, like I say, our series and our plans, and what you just said. You know, I think there's a high school principal I have in mind.
I was just gonna say this. No, I was gonna say Leroy Williams. You know, if we can chop a piece off, if we can chop an edited piece, I would say, Mr. Williams, this is personally a call. This brother needs to be doing a lecture hall series at least twice a year. You know, a week-long series based around his book. And I think the long-term goal would be is to get it in the libraries, couple copies, and maybe like an after-school program, have him, my brother, not him, but he's him, come in and do an after-school program of youth that might have probation or might have a lot of detention. Come and sit in the circle to do the book, and the parents can pick them up, and the parents can come in, and it can be a whole thing. Like we can make it a whole thing where we have a ceremony at the end. Yep. We can do weekend rites of passages with Sawajir Village permission slips from the parents.
Something on the wall.
But Mr. Williams, these are the exterior things, because the exterior world is more effective to these children right now than their internal. So we have to expose them to external things that will support their inward journey. And this is who we are and what we do. You know, we are mothers, we are fathers, we are grandmothers, we are grandfathers, we are brothers, we are sisters, we are daughters, we are guardians. And so do not deny us. I know it's a school board thing, but we have to also recognize that our ancestors gave us positions of authority. It's time to change things.
Thank you, bro, for listening.
Always. Thank you for being there. Wow, your presence, your stature has grown since the last time I saw you. I was like, wow.